I was already halfway down the last street when my scanner buzzed and the route changed by itself. Christmas Eve, 11:58 p.m. One delivery left and the screen blinked an address ID never seen in this city. 13 Larkspur Lane. Our maps don't miss streets. Not here, not ever. Yet my belt printer spit out a sticker and slapped it onto the parcel like it had been waiting. The two-line reading too, you from tomorrow. And I laughed once just to prove I wasn't scared. But the sound came out thin as snow as I followed the directions anyway, because that S, what couriers do. We deliver and we don't ask. And the deeper I walked, the more the city slid off my map. Like my phone was embarrassed to admit where I'd gone GPS. Spinning, correcting, always pointing forward until a neighborhood appeared without warning. A short lane wedged between buildings that should have been touching. A faded sign that said Larkspur Lane. And the moment I stepped onto it, the normal city noise dropped away like a door shutting. Every house was decorated, but the lights didn't blink in patterns. They blinked in pauses, slow pulses like breathing. And every window showed a Christmas tree with ornaments that weren't store-bought. They were personal childish crafts, old keychains, tiny plastic toys, and my stomach turned when I recognized one that was mine. A crooked candy cane with my name spelled wrong. The way my father once corrected, and I cried like it mattered more than love. I told myself coincidence. But my feet carried me to the last house with brass 13 above the frame and a wreath too perfect to be real. And when I knocked, the lock clicked open, as if it had been expecting me. Warm air spilling cinnamon and pine with something metallic underneath. And inside, the living room looked staged, but lived in mug on the table. Fur on a blanket, an unfinished apology on a card, except the floor swallowed sound. My boots, my breathing, my fear. And the tree held more fragments of my life the longer I stared. A hospital wristband date. A job keychain. A blurred photo that refused to show me who I'd lost. And then an ornament that was still wet with melted snow, a little bell that had been mine. The one I dropped the night. I left my childhood home without saying goodbye and told myself I'd come back when things were better. And if this is the kind of story that makes the air change around you, like, share and subscribe to Bloody Chapter. Because some places don't chase you, they wait for you to finally show up. I backed toward the door still open. Snow falling outside like freedom until the tree blinked once and the door swung shut without a slam. Locked with the calm finality of something certain, my watch resetting to 11:58 p.m. like time refused to move here. And the coffee table cleared itself as if the house was making room for duty. So I set the parcel down and the fireplace lit on its own. Stockings shifting like something inside them exhaled. And a voice not in the room but behind my thoughts said, "Open it," and my hands obeyed. Box, INSIDE. Box inside box. Each wrapping paper changing closer to the center, from candy canes to fingerprints to old notes to a child's scribbles, until I hit paper. I recognized because I de-wrapped a gift in it, once a gift. I never gavoned. Inside was a glass ornament with my own handwriting trapped within. "I'm coming back." And the house seemed to breathe deeper, lights pulsing, bell ornament swaying without wind. And the front wall became a long hallway lined with framed photos that shifted into versions of my life I never lived, me at birthdays I didn't remember. Me beside people I abandoned, me holding a baby I never had, alternate turns where I chose the harder thing. And at the end of that hall stood a door labeled not with an address, but with a date. December 24, and the ornament warmed like a fever as the whisper returned. Trade, and I understood the real delivery wasn't a package. It was my promise. This house wanted my worst Christmas memory the night I left, so it could replace it with a clean new one that erased guilt like it never existed. All I had to do was step through that door and let forgetting do its gentle violence. But then 3 slow knocks came from the front door. Familiar, patient. The handle began to turn from the outside like something had arrived to collect the debt if I refused. The house whispering only one word now: choose. And I ran to the hall door and stepped through just as the front door began to open like a mouth. And cold slammed into memory cold. And I was outside my childhood house on that exact Christmas Eve, my car idling, my younger self stiff with pride and pain, and my father on the porch, not angry but tired, holding out that little bell and saying, "Take it, so you come back." And for the first time I saw the truth. It wasn't control, it was a thread. And when the bell fell, I moved something I didn't do back then. I caught it before it hit, turned toward him, and said the words I'd starved him of for years. I'm sorry. And the porch light warmed, the snow paused. His eyes filled like a dam breaking, and the memory shattered. I stumbled back into the impossible living room, and everything was still. No breathing lights, no swaying bell. My scanner alive again on the table reading delivery complete. The parcel gone, and the ornament in my hand changed. The note inside now, saying I did, and I don't remember leaving Larkspur Lane, only stepping back into the real city where time finally crawled past midnight. My phone buzzing with a message from a number I hadn't seen in years. You home? And as I stared at it, I caught my reflection in the screen. And behind me, for just a second, Christmas lights blinked slow and steady like breathing. So if you ever get a last delivery on Christmas Eve, and the address doesn't exist, don't open the door because it's unlocked. Open it because it's waiting. Because some houses don't want your package. They want your promise. And if you don't pay it, something else will come knocking to collect.